What's up, everybody? It is Daddy Goodz, and today we got TSaint on the podcast. Shout out to her.
Hey y'all, what's up, DJ?
Man, just hanging out right now. What's going on with you today?
Woo, I had some crafting to do because I am a lot of things. I wear a lot of hats. So right now I am treating my feet because I kind of did a lot of work on my feet today. So that's what I'm doing. I'm a woodworker, so I work outside in the morning and leather work in the afternoon, essentially.
So constantly on your feet all day long.
Always, and that's why I have such an appreciation for feet. You know what I'm saying? People always ask me like where my fetish came from. Why I'm into like the lifestyle I'm into, and I'm like because I have an appreciation for feet that a lot of people don't. If you have the ability to walk, then you need to appreciate your feet because they're with you through everything. They walk you through every stage of your life.
That's true. They are the foundation to our flesh suits, should we call them?
Exactly. Like I feel like they're one of the most important parts of the body. So why not appreciate them?
100%. I'm with you on that. And you're rubbing the CBD lotion?
Yes, it's like a CBD with eucalyptus and stuff. It's called a pain stick. Shout out to this company that makes this pain stick. CBD Queen pain stick. It's called the Ice Queen Double Menthol. And let me tell you, I put it everywhere in my body, especially my feet and ankles. And in the morning, I'm good to go again.
You gotta love it. You gotta love it because CBD really truly is the medical receptor part of the cannabis plant, right?
Exactly. And for me, because I deal with so many health issues, it's really important to find natural healing things, as much as I can. Although I know some parts of my life I can't go that route, but as much as I can, I will.
Right. And they call that homeopathy, right? Is that what they call it?
Yes, pretty much homeopathic, herbal remedy, pretty much what our grandmothers would have taught us if we got a knock on the head or, a sprained ankle.
Right. No, totally. It would be. And if there was never big pharma, then this is where we would get all of our remedies from.
Thank you. But because big pharma wants to have control, right? Because they want to make money. And I say this all the time because as a person living with HIV, it's been 10 years. They're like, oh, I'm sure they can find a cure. And I'm like, yeah, but why the fuck would they? You know how much my medication would cost me out of pocket a month? Thousands.
Wow.
So why would they make a cure if they can make so much money off of people saying I need to spend this much because I need to survive?
Yeah, no, serious. You make a great point right there because big pharma really, really does have a tight hold on just everything. If there's something that they can provide a medication for, then why in the world would they come up with a cure? I'm sure they do have the cure for many things, especially cancer, probably even as well. That's probably like their biggest moneymaker right there. But when it comes to HIV, I think that you being somebody who is living with HIV, you can probably really attest to this right here. But it seems like they have figured something out because a lot of people are living with it now. It used to be the end all.
Exactly. Yeah, it was the monster. Do you know how many people still call it the monster? Like, oh my God, she got the monster. Like, let me tell you, I have a child that's 7 years old, okay? And I've been living with HIV for 10 years. Do the math. She's healthy. Born inside of my body, she's healthy. What does that mean? That we've come somewhere, right? There's something about the medication that works because if you're undetectable, then you cannot transmit the disease to anyone else. So because through my entire pregnancy, I was undetectable, my daughter is a 100% healthy kid.
And being undetectable, is that the medication that's blocking whatever?
Yes, exactly. So the medication suppresses the HIV in your blood, right? Because what the HIV does, it kills off your healthy cells. So if you're not on medication, it gets to run wild and kill off those very important cells. And that's why if someone is diagnosed as a HIV person living with AIDS, living with AIDS as well, it's because their immune system was attacked so much that their fighter cells, their T cells are so low that now the common cold or a pneumonia or something that a healthy person can get over could kill them.
Yeah, I hear you. Were you super nervous during the whole COVID pandemic?
I was, and a lot of people didn't understand, like, or couldn't, like, they still, because HIV is so stigmatized, it's still this idea that I'm gonna hurt you and you can't hurt me because I'm the one that's living with HIV. But the truth is, I'm the one that is dealing with the compromised immune system, right?
Right.
So if my immune system is compromised, anything that you have, I get, it might take me 2-3 times longer to get better than it would for you.
Right. Yeah, no, that's interesting right there. And I could only imagine what you were feeling during that time. Wow, so you have been positive now for 10 years, you say?
10 years, yes.
And like going back to like when it all happened, I don't know if you've ever spoke about this in public.
Oh, yeah. I talk about my story because the only way to actually create change is to speak about your experiences, right?
Right.
So if you want to hear
Absolutely.
the story, I'll be more than happy to tell you.
Well, yeah, definitely. I That's where I wanted to go with that actually is, I would like to know the story of like, when it all
Sure.
happened and like, how you
So I
felt.
was married when I was super young, right? I was
Mhm.
19 years old when I got married. I'm in my 30s now. I was 19 years old when I got married. I was in a, it was more because I wanted to move out of the house, and that was the stipulation. Get married, then you can move. So we were like, fuck
Right.
it, let's get married. Like, and that's what it was. I didn't have a good relationship with my husband, and I met my partner then.
Mhm.
And we just had like this crazy connection, like we just would walk our dogs together and just talk about our lives and all this stuff. And one day he told me, like, yo, I got something to tell you, and we weren't like doing anything intimate with each other. We were just like really enjoying each other's energy.
Right.
And he's like, I was born with HIV. And he started crying. And I'm like,
Damn.
I was just like, bro, come
Mhm.
here. Like, it's all good. What are you crying for? Like, we good.
Right.
Like,
Yeah.
it wasn't a big deal to me. I wasn't educated. I didn't understand. I wasn't aware that he wasn't taking care of his health. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Mhm.
so for me, he was honest about that part, but he wasn't honest about the fact that he was having a hard time taking his health. Even after I went with him to the doctors, we moved to Florida, got his medication shipped over, all that. One day I realized that he wasn't taking his medication. Like, all his bottles were pretty much unopened.
Right.
And we had been living in Florida for over a year at this point.
Yeah.
So my heart just sunk, because that means that you lied to me. You weren't taking care of yourself. So
Right.
me thinking that you were taking care of yourself, we're having unprotected sex, trying to have a family and all this stuff
Right.
at 21 years old. And pretty much like 2 days later, I sold everything in our house in Florida, and we packed the car and we drove back up to New York,
Mhm.
to start the whole process again, get him back on medication, see where he was at, like definitely get myself checked out, because I already knew, you know what I'm saying? Like, I already knew in my heart with all the nasty shit we was doing,
Yeah.
there was no chance that I wasn't going to come out living with HIV. So on 4/20/2012 is when I got my results.
Mm.
And I pretty much just like looked at the doctors, looked at my partner, and was just like, well, what'd you expect?
Right.
You know, do you expect something different?
Right.
So I pretty much walked a couple miles home. I smoked like a whole eighth, and I just sat there and I didn't know what to do. I didn't know how to talk to my family about it, because they knew that he was living with HIV, but they thought we were, being careful and doing the right thing and stuff like that. And then not even a month later, he passed away from meningitis.
Gosh. Damn.
Yep. And at that time, like, he was undetectable again. His T
Mhm.
cells were back to like normal and stuff. But he just got meningitis from a strep throat, like anyone else could. But again, opportunistic infections, you know.
Yeah.
and he passed away in front of my eyes, like in one day. He was brain dead.
Damn, I'm sorry to hear that right there.
So after that, like, it was just more fucked up because I'm this young kid. I have to call all his family and tell them that, you know, their son is dying, and
Right.
I'm also living with HIV, and that's the last thing that they wanted for me. And, you know, how do I deal with all of this?
Right, right. Yeah, you seem like a really, really strong person. But at the time when finding out, I'm sure there was some rough breakdown moments as well.
Oh, yeah, I had a lot of breakdown moments. I had a lot of moments of just like smoking myself to sleep, sleeping all day, being like very extremely traumatized. You know what I'm saying? Like, it was just, and then I felt the need to be strong for everybody else because everyone looked at me like I was a fucking ghost already, like I was dead already, you know? Oh
Yeah.
my God, like it's gonna be her next. So in my
Mm.
mind, that's what it was gonna be, you know?
Aren't we all just ghosts to other people at the end of the day, though? Because
Yo,
everything
right? It's just
is
like,
going
why do
to.
you even care? Why are you even perceiving me anyway? Like, I didn't
Hmm.
matter before I was living with HIV in this way.
Right.
So why are you treating me this way now? And I tell people all the time the hardest thing to deal with about living with HIV is not the actual virus, but it's the stigma that comes with it. You know what I'm saying?
And what would the stigma be that you would say?
That's that's people saying, "Oh my God, Saint, you're so amazing. You're so creative. Like, you're good at so many things. You're a nurturer. You're loving. You're caring. You're a great parent. You've overcome so many things. But what?
Right.
But I couldn't date you. Like, I couldn't have a life with you because I can't handle the fact that you're living with HIV.
Mm.
I'm undetectable. My daughter's healthy. I take care of my health. That's very important to me. You know, so for that to be a constant, especially because I'm a person living out loud,
Right.
you know, I'm way more open to that stigma. People could just say it to my face now because they know,
Yeah. No, that's
and that's the hard part.
I could only imagine how that must feel because I mean that's rejection that you have no choice
I have
of
no control over. You know what I'm
yeah,
saying? Like, there's nothing that I could do besides what I'm doing to take care of my health, you know, and to make sure the people around me are safe. So to still be judged and stigmatized and kind of be like used and abused for all the other beautiful things that I am, and
right.
just be like, well, that's beyond ignorance, right? Because if they're educated and I've already put them on and did all that stuff, then you're choosing to be ignorant. And that's more than ignorance, that's cruelty, you know?
Yeah, no, totally. It really is. I mean, man, these are like topics that I wasn't necessarily anticipating, but these are like the realest. I knew that this conversation was going to get real when we started talking about your experiences with this, because I mean, one could only imagine how traumatizing that must be. And then, not to mention all the stigmas that come along with it. It's something that a normal person wouldn't even think of, or even like decide to like look into. It's not a matter people really look into. And then
Right.
you're sitting in front of T Saint and you start hearing all these things, and it's like, damn. Oh man, like it makes you want to cry, you know what I mean?
Yeah, because it's like, oh, that's how people see me first, second, and third. You know what I'm saying? Fuck me
Right.
being beautiful, fuck me being smart, amazing, good with my hands, good with people. You know, look at me, I'm in tears already. You
And me
know, fuck
too.
all that amazing
Fuck.
stuff. You feel me? Like,
Yeah.
I'm not good enough because I'm living with something that can't hurt you. Like,
Mhm.
what?
Right. Yeah.
You know?
So like what like drives you to want to please other people the way you do, knowing all these stigmas and these issues that you have to face?
Uh, I don't know if it's people pleasing anymore because I used to really like do that a lot in my life.
Right.
Um, but it's more so I just want people to be less ignorant. like to be less hurtful, because I'm a strong person. You understand? It's easy for me to talk about my life, because talking about it and going through it are two totally different things. You know what I'm
Right.
saying?
Yeah.
So for the fact that there's so much ignorance out there, like in such an ugly way, even here in the fucking kink community where we are already stigmatized, it's already a taboo community, you know? Like, I
Mm.
just really wish people would be less ignorant and give themselves a chance to be around amazing people and not be so judgmental that way.
Yeah,
You
no,
know?
you totally have a great point right there, because when you think of people that you love and the things that they do that you love about them, you should never think of, like, first of all, anything that is romantic in the first place or intimate in the first place. Like, get to know people, know their soul,
But people
enjoy
don't
the
care about that anymore. And that's why I always say in my status, like, first and foremost, because it's always the sexualized shit first, right? It's
right.
always, oh, you look good. I wish I could do all that. All right, well, here's the deal. This is what I'm living with. If you can handle that, then we could talk about all the things, like, and all that stuff. And immediately, almost immediately, 9.5 out of 10 times,
Yeah.
end the conversation.
Why do you think that people are so out of touch with, like, genuine connection?
Say that one more time.
Why do you think people are so out of touch with genuine connection?
Because we're taught that humans, like, being naturally human is unnatural. Like,
Mm.
connecting with human beings is not a natural thing. We're supposed to be doing all this other weird shit, like spending all our hours working and bullshitting and living in these systems. And I feel like it drives a fork in the actual human experience. You know, so they're feeding us, society and the systems we live in are feeding us this idea that this is what humans do. But no, half of the shit that we do are definitely not what humans do or what we should be doing. It's a bunch of bullshit, you know?
Right. I bet you we would be so elevated as a human species if money didn't exist, or any of these facades that we have in the world, and these addictions to social media and attention and things like that. Like, the world will probably be an absolute crazy, amazing place.
Absolutely. But because we have people in power that want things their way, it's not likely that we'll see that in our lifetime. You know what I'm saying? Hopefully, in our kids' lifetime, they'll be
The sound went out, by the way. I can't hear you if you can hear me. We'll get her back in a second, folks. Looks like we are having some audio. T Saint, I can't hear you right now. Double check the mic option. I can't hear you right now, T Saint. Can you hear me? Let me see if we can do this real quick. 1 second, y'all. T Saint, can you hear me?
there we go.
There we go. All right, we're back. All right, we got T Saint
You hear
back.
me
Awesome.
now?
I could hear you now. Yeah. All right. I'll edit that part out. No problem.
I can't hear you now.
Oh, yeah. Turn it up. Turn it up.
SOS me.
All right. So let's see. 1 second, folks.
Oh, you're all the way up.
Can you hear me? Can you hear me? No? Okay. Let's see. 1 second. I'm gonna send you a DM on IG.
So while we work on technical difficulties, y'all, I appreciate this amazing pedicure. Okay, because it's not often that I do this for myself. Let me get a little bit closer. just a little bit closer so you really could, get into that. Get into that. Peekaboo. Let's see. I got a message. And it says, copy.
All right. We'll have T Saint right back, folks. 1 second.
Only to see me, so.
All right. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I hear
We're
you
back, everybody.
now.
See, we always figure out the tech difficulties. It's all good. This is what happens when you're doing a live podcast. You run into a little issue and we fix it. That's how we do it. That's
And
how we
that's all
do it
right. And
in
we make it
everything,
work and
right?
we keep it pushing.
Absolutely, absolutely. So, thank you for those visuals, by the way, because
You're
that
so
was
welcome.
yeah, that's
I don't think these people know. Do y'all know how much tension that puts on the ankle? All of that we do.
does it really? Does it like
It
does it?
does. It really is a lot of the reason why I use the pain stick, because that flex pulls this right here.
Ah,
So if
I
we're
got it.
constantly doing this, imagine how many muscles in our feet we're stretching daily.
That's true. That's very true. That must be why like a lot of foot models have buff calves. The calf muscles are always buff. Like,
Have the
okay.
strong calves because we're constantly having that muscle all the time, flexing.
Right. That's a good point to make right there. What got you into, doing the BDSM, the Dom, and modeling of the feet a little bit? Like what got you into that?
Okay, so I've always been into kink, right?
Right.
In my personal life. Um, Unfortunately, a lot of my introduction to BDSM was through abuse. So I wanted to find a new way to enjoy what I enjoy in my life in a safe way. And then one year I ran into Anishka
Oh,
and we kind of pretty much clicked ever since. And she was like, "Don't you want to think about doing this live? We could get you on the internet." And I'm like, I'm not really an internet person. Like all the work I've ever done has been in real life.
right.
So she's like, "No, this is gonna be great." And then I'm like, okay, so what I can do is kind of create a monster here, right? So we started off with the feet, get people, coming in, and then we
Mhm.
show them the art, right? We
Right.
show them that I'm crafty, not just cute with cute feet, right?
Mhm.
And then we
Right.
talk to them about living with HIV and stigma and having those conversations and advocacy. And boom, I'm able to
Boom.
offer more than just one thing to this community.
No, that's awesome right there. I mean, you're using the FFC, the foot fetish community as the anchor, and you're allowing them to see all the other great things that you're about, such as being an HIV advocate and what have you. being an advocate in the community, what makes you feel like, or what makes you feel that it's so important? Because I feel like just hearing you talk about the things you were talking about early on in the podcast, like you have a great answer for that.
Why is it important for me to talk about it in this community? I'm gonna give you one great example right now.
Sure.
So some dude hit me up on my Twitter and was like, I sent you an email, check it as soon as possible, kind of shit. And I'm like, ew, nigga, what if I already checked that email? And was like, you're dumb. But I went and checked the email anyway, and the email was proposing, I want to book you for a foot job, hand job, backwards foot job, foot worship, ass worship, all this other stuff. Oh yeah, by the way, I don't plan on paying you, but I'll give you the content. We could both make money. But if you want to get paid anything, then expect to not get any content. And I'm like, all right, cool. So I wrote him back on his Twitter, if this is what we doing, right? Because obviously you didn't read into me, you didn't really read my brand, and almost all of what you said is not part of what I'm doing.
Okay.
So I pretty much wrote on his Twitter, like, none of this has anything to do with like ball busting, trampling, like, none of that stuff. So I'll pass.
Right.
So he goes, oh, no need to be extra. This is how we're professional. And then proceeds to say on our timelines, don't you got HIV? LOL, and blocks me. And then he adds like a gif of who is it? One of these freaking actors, funny actors, like gagging, like throwing up, and then block me. And this is somebody that people have worked with.
Oh gosh.
This is somebody in our community that's making content.
Oh really?
Yeah, like the person hit me up on Twitter. Actually, somebody found me their Instagram account or whatever. But I definitely blasted them on Twitter for, being freaking ignorant. And the fact of the matter is, you sought me out.
Right.
Where'd you get the information from? My bio?
Right.
Because it says it in my bio, like on all my platforms. So
do you feel like sometimes there could be some content creators that take advantage of models offering services in that kind of way?
And I was just like, this man has the fucking audacity. Are you dumb? Like, you have to be stupid if you thought you were going to hurt my feelings with information I give out freely. And the fact of the matter is that you have this idea of people and this fucking ignorance, and you're allowed to work in this community. It's just a big fuck no for me. Did you think that because I was living with HIV that I was automatically going to accept your request? Because, oh my God, like, I'm so grateful that you're giving me this opportunity to put my feet and hands on your cock. Like, what?
Right. Yeah, no, that's messed up. That's dirty work right there. They're working in a dirty way. I don't think that's cool at all.
Like, are you kidding me?
I feel like they got to have more respect for somebody like you, because you being an advocate and being so out there and open, like, how is it that you get stigmatized and abused verbally and bullied over the internet with gifts and what have you, more than somebody who is hiding the fact that they might have that and openly just out there giving it to people without even telling them?
Thank you. And this is what I say. So y'all, I'm talking to all y'all people that be doing that. Y'all want to stigmatize me, but how many people have you slept with that you have no idea about their STD or STI history? How many people?
I bet you it's a lot of people.
Swap oral sex with, penetration with, whatever. How many one night stands?
Right.
How many I don't remember his name, I don't remember her name.
Yeah.
How many times of unprotected sex? And you're gonna sit here and treat me some type of way because I have the balls to be honest?
Right.
Bananas.
I gotta say too, I wanna shout out your Brooklyn like verbiage and accent, by the way. Let me
Excuse me.
Oh shit. Oh, all right, everybody. See you later.
Y'all heard this, man? You see, this is where the Bronx comes out, because how dare you?
Oh my gosh. All right, so which one is Hell's Kitchen?
Hell's Kitchen is definitely in the city.
Okay, so that's not like Bronx or Brooklyn.
No.
Either or. Okay. See, I don't know that much about New York, by the way. But when you said "fuck out of here,"
Yo, listen, that's one of my favorite terms. Fuck out of here, eat a dick. You know, go fuck yourself. You know
oh
what
my
I'm saying?
gosh,
And I also could be extremely polite, you know? And we can
right?
put on our whitewashed voice and but also eat a dick. You know? That's just how New Yorkers do. So I'm gonna give it to Brooklyn too. You know,
Yeah,
we gonna give it to Brooklyn because
shout out
we
Brooklyn.
do the same things.
Right, right. What part of town do you think is like the tougher part of town?
In New York, period.
Yeah, or is it all aggressive?
Nah, the neighborhood I live in is beautiful and it's still in the Bronx. I actually live right by the Botanical Garden and the Bronx Zoo and the forest, pretty much
Oh
right behind
wow!
my backyard. So we
So
have
you
so
got
much, all
nature all
again,
around.
stigma about being from New York, right?
Oh, all right, right,
But
right.
I got, if you were to see my view, like you'd be able to see the entire city from here.
But see, like for people that have never been to New York, like how could you not stigmatize? Because it's like in all the movies, everything that everywhere
That's what
you
I'm
would
saying
see.
because people portray us, they perceive us as this way before getting to know us. It's not fair.
Hey, well, I'm from California, right? And
People
people
stigmatize you. I have no idea what like the stereotype California, thing is.
surfboard, eating in and out all the time. What else? Driving slug bugs. I mean, Volkswagen bugs. I don't know. Like everything that you can imagine, like a white surfboard dude.
All I could say, like for people that come from California, is like, yo, how's the weed out there?
Oh, that's a big one right there. But we do
That's
also we do also
that's really all that matters. I'm just like, yo, fuck, be yourself, whoever you are. But yo,
like,
is the
but
weed good? But just tell me that. Do you get to smoke good weed all the time?
oh yeah.
Amazing. Because New York, not like that. So
What
different.
what was the weed in like in New York growing up?
Maybe that's why we're fucking. Maybe that's why we're so fucking angry and we say fuck out of here so much because
I think you got a
we're
good point.
smoking like mids and getting charged like it's from the best shit from God's green earth.
I remember one time I was in Florida. This was years ago. This was before like weed was like good in most places because it's getting grown by people who know what they're doing. But I was in Florida and somebody tried to sell me some weed. I remember. So this was probably like in 2012, right? They tried to sell me some weed, and I look at it and I'm like, I was like, what is this? And he's like, oh man, this is that good shit, the best shit you're ever gonna smoke. Like, man, I get it from I forget where he said, but I looked at it and I was like, dude, this is some Bammer. We used to call it Bammer, Now I think it's called Reggie, right? They call it
Right.
Reggie. But yeah, it was basically like Bammer had seeds in it and everything. And I'm just like, dude, I'm from California. And he just looked at me. He's like, all right, my bad.
My bad. Forget it. Forget it. I
Yeah.
bow. I bow.
Yeah. But I
Listen,
mean
and that's why
that's
I
the
say
true
maybe that's why we're so fucking angry for over here for real because we can't really get medicated. Like, not only
that's
do I live with HIV, I don't have a thyroid either anymore. So, without having a thyroid, I have to take fake hormones
ah
and I need to smoke because it hypes up like my mania and all that stuff. So, I have to
oh
smoke heavy indicas. Most weed out here, they don't even know what it is, they don't know what
right.
they're selling you.
There's no dispensaries in New York.
No, they just legalized weed all the way around. So now like stores could sell weed and get permits to sell and all that stuff. But there's still, even the stores are still getting like basic ass shit. Unless the stuff that they're getting is from California.
Gotcha. Man, that's crazy. Like I would have thought New York would have been one of the
But then
states.
if they getting shit from California that's good, they want to call it Zaza and charge you like $90 an eighth. Are you what?
See, that's a New York weed word for sure. Zaza.
I'm like,
That's
what? You know how much I would pay for that if I just got it from the source, you dummies? You want me to pay $90 for an eighth? There's no way in hell.
well. See, the thing is, it's so like the let's say like a pound of it in California goes for like $1,000, that same pound, if you were to take that pound, I've never done this, by the way, anybody, and I don't condone illegal activity, everybody, but you know,
If you were,
I read somewhere before that a pound of weed in California that goes for 1,000 in New York would go for like 3,000. So that's why it's probably being sold for more in New York.
because it's ridiculous. And I'm not doing that. I'd rather call one of my homies, and I don't condone illegal activities as well, but I'd rather call one of my homies to make me a care package.
Right. Right. What,
But not for nothing, when I came back from California, I flew back with so much stuff.
Right. Oh, is
With
that
my
right?
carry-on, like just with my backpack.
But we don't condone the any illegal practice, everybody.
Right. But I was just like, because it's legal now, when I
No,
take
you
my
can't.
regular medication on a plane, they don't check my medication. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, so is
Right.
it like that now where they're just like, it's
Technically,
not a big deal?
technically, you're not supposed to bring weed with you on planes. But I mean, are they really going to say anything? I feel you on that. But technically, if you had it on you, they'll probably just take it, just being that most states are legal now. But
Right.
if
So
you were to
maybe it's like
have,
if you're flying into a state that's illegal, they'll confiscate it.
because I looked it up for Vegas to California, and I should have just drove. I know everybody, but I flew 30-minute flight. Anyways, um, I looked it up for that, like, because Vegas or Nevada and California are both legal weed states, right?
Right.
So it said that no, you're not supposed to do that, because when you're in the air, you're in federal laws or what have you. So federally, it's not
It's still
legalized.
illegal, yes.
Yeah. Yep. But are they really going to go through the extents of, looking through everything, especially if you don't have like a crazy amount? Like, I can get it and understand if you got like 5 pounds of weed and you got it in your fucking bag and it's reeking. They're probably
Right,
gonna
that's
stop you.
different. But if you just got your personal use shit, like, I don't think
Yeah,
it's a big deal.
exactly. Personal use, you're good. So, I mean, I feel like they probably would never say anything. But, I feel like that's at the discretion of whoever that
Whoever's in
person
charge
is.
that day.
Exactly. Let's go into a foot commercial. We haven't officially done a foot commercial yet, so let's do it.
Let's
T
go.
Saint. Oh, sorry. Last thing you guys want to see. Shout out T Saint. So I got her IG on the page as well, right here. It's T Saint the Goddess with X's though. So
Get
it's
that,
T.
the Goddexx.
Yes, TSaint the Goddexx. And then on Twitter, it is GODDEXX Saint. So you got to make sure you holler at her, as you can
Yes,
see and
holla
as you
at
can hear.
me. And when you guys go through there, you'll have a wonderful surprise that my OnlyFans is free.
Oh, you got the
It's
free OF.
it's free. It's free. You heard? Did you hear it here first? Free, 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 free.
Love it.
So y'all be in for a treat. That shows some love, right?
Absolutely. How long have you been on the OF? Has it been a blast?
Honestly, it hasn't been a blast because I hate technology.
Why do you hate technology? Look what it's doing for you right now.
It's because I am a crafter. Like,
Tell me about your craft.
these are what time do you have?
Oh, it is 11:41.
Okay, so I have about 10 minutes with you guys. So
I
this was inspired by the crow.
mm, I like it. So is that wood?
Yes, this is all solid wood. All my pieces that I make, all my floggers are all solid wood. They're all salvaged wood. So it also says on the back, it can't rain all the time.
And so that's a whip right there.
Yes, this is a flogger.
Oh my goodness.
So all
And so,
handcrafted. And then we got the dragon's tail.
wow. That's amazing. And you do all this by hand.
Yes.
That is
So
awesome.
because I do so much by hand, like these are all cut by hand.
Wow.
Even that resin in there.
So and those are paddles, yeah, for like
Yeah.
spanking. Gotcha. That's
Yes.
gotta hurt.
Or you know, or we can get a little bit of that in there.
Right.
Then we have this.
Oh my goodness. A chain.
Yeah.
I feel like that would hurt way too much.
Right? Let's see. No.
Wow.
It all depends on how you use it, right? Because it also
And
could be just
right. And do you make these for yourself or are you making them for others as well?
I make them for others as well. I do sell my work. I that's also one thing I'm working on is getting my website up. I do have another page called Goddexx Saints Shop,
Mm.
SHOPPE, on Instagram as well. I just need to upload my more work. I have so much. I work on crafts so often that I'm having a hard time like keeping up with being a single parent and my health and my crafting and my fet and kink stuff and life and that's how I feel sometimes.
It's hard to stay
So
focused.
for me,
It's hard to,
I take most of my stuff as custom work. I don't make the same piece twice. I never will. So anything that you get from me you'll be the only one that has anything like it. So I do hope to by next year, end of next year, to kind of stake my claim in the community as a designer um, as well.
yeah, that's
So
big.
it's all coming together.
No, that's big right there. I mean, I see so much potential and opportunity for your craft work right there because like I've never seen anything like that before. And to have custom work like that, I feel like
It's
that
special, yo. Like I'm tired of seeing like the same people. All right, I'm a Mr. Rogers, y'all. Okay, so we about to Mr. Rogers, y'all. This is also, the piece. We're taking it off because I do have to pick up a kid from school.
all right, everybody. Well,
But I do want to say that I do hope that I can bring that to other people in the community, give them that special care. You know what I'm saying?
100%. 100%.
Give them, because I'm kind of tired of seeing models with the same fucking Amazon paddle. You
Right.
know what I'm saying? That was like 1999 and they just bought it for props pretty much or whatever. Like that shit irks me to death.
No, that your craft work is going to be huge in the community. I could already see it right now.
So that's really what I'm hoping for. I'm hoping that people will see me more than just a pretty face. Will understand that this 17 means that like I deal with like 17 versions of myself. You know what I'm saying? And I want them all to be highlighted where they should be. I want to bring uniqueness and elevation to the community because I feel like it's so necessary.
It
Um,
definitely is.
like I said, I want people to be able to express themselves through the things that they use, right?
For sure.
Because how am I supposed to know about your personal personality if you use the shit of 1,000 other people,
100%. Now you got a great point to make right there, and I think it's going to be huge. And I can't wait for more people to get exposed to it because those are the bomb right there. So shout out to that. Well, thank you so much, T. Saint, for taking some time to be on the POF Pod and
Oh
hang
man, you are
out.
absolutely welcome. Thank you for giving me a platform, yo. Like to just shoot the shit and like get to know you a little bit better. And I dig your style. You just have a very curious mind, and I love that.
Well, I appreciate that a lot, greatly. Man, anytime you want to come back on the podcast, just let me know. We can
Oh,
shoot the shit some
anytime,
more.
anytime you want to shoot the shit, I'm here, right?
Absolutely. So everybody, make sure you go and follow her social media, IG, Twitter. Let her know that you appreciated her time, and thank you so much once again, T Saint. I'll let you go and handle your business, but
you already know.
until next time. All right, everybody. Holla at y'all next episode. We out.